When you play the Game of Thrones,
Subscribe and like.
you die. There is no middle ground.
Welcome back to the Grease Goblins YouTube channel. Today's video, we're going to be answering a question that I had gotten from stream. I thought this would be a great video topic. And the real question that was proposed was, would Stannis back Daenerys in a hypothetical Stannis survives long enough to meet Daenerys? And the real question is, would he bend the knee to her? Like, would he allow Daenerys to be the ruler of the Seven Kingdoms? I think it's an interesting question because this idea comes from, you got to remember, back during Robert's Rebellion, Stannis was kind of in a toss-up. Should he back, his king and heiress, his vows and all of that, his duty? Technically, he's sworn vows to follow the king, and Aerys is the person who is the king. But at the same time, you also have a duty to your brother who is wanting to break away from the Targaryens and take them out more or less. So Stannis was in a really tough position and he chose his family in the end. So the question would be, would he give up his own claim if Daenerys Targaryen was to come land on Westeros again, have her claim, she's a Targaryen, would Stannis give up his claim? And for me personally, I don't think so. I think there's a number of reasons why he wouldn't do so. One, yes, at one point she did have a claim to the Iron Throne, and she still does have one, but that time has passed, right? The right of conquest allowed Robert to take the throne, plus, I guess, parts of his blood that he kind of argues, but it was really right of conquest. And now that Robert was king, the throne does go to Stannis. That is the way the law works. So Daenerys coming back doesn't necessarily mean by the law that she is the ruler. And even if you want to go a step further, remember, young Griff is going to be a character that's going to be prominent at this point as well, claiming to be a Targaryen. And he is a male Targaryen. That is very key here, at least from what Stannis is going to know, even if young Griff is a Blackfyre or whatever, he is a Targaryen. If young Griff is made a Targaryen and all that stuff, and Stannis knows that knowledge, why would Stannis ever bend the knee or allow Daenerys to be the queen? When we literally have Stannis who says that Rhaenyra was in the wrong and that Aegon II should have been the king, not Rhaenyra. So, in every regard, Stannis upholds the male claimant before the woman, claimant. So, if you're going to say he was going to bend to anyone, it would be to Aegon. But in my opinion, I don't think he would bend the knee to Aegon either. What I just talked about, Stannis views it as his duty. He's been told now, and he's been fighting these wars so that he can fulfill his duty of being king and all of that type of stuff. In my opinion, there is no way that Stannis is going to bend to one of these other Targaryens when their claims to the throne are a bit shaky in terms of where the claim is now, right? It's passed from the Targaryens. Yes, they can claim that they are descendants of Aerys, but at that point, we're now, again, going on our, fourth king? If Stannis is going to become king, the fourth king from the Targaryens in Robert, Joffrey, Tommen, and now Stannis, we're far removed from the Targaryens. So in terms of a legal claim, Stannis still has the best legal claim to the throne. So in a lot of ways, albeit I think this is a very interesting topic, I don't think Stannis is the type of person that would, bend to somebody else in terms of their claim being better than his own, because that just isn't the case right now. And especially is the case with Daenerys. Daenerys does not have a claim. If you even want to go back further, let's say, Dragonstone, or at no point of the story is Daenerys' claim the one that Stannis would back. If he's going to back any claim of the Targaryens, it would be Viserys, until Viserys is killed. Well, then maybe you would say at that point he would maybe back Daenerys because she is the last Targaryen in terms of what we know, because young Griff wasn't revealed yet. Jon Snow, we don't know if he is truly a Targaryen. Aemon at this point, he's a maester, he's part of the Night's Watch, he doesn't really have a claim. So yeah, maybe at that point, maybe if Daenerys came over before young Griff was a thing, maybe that would be then where he would go, okay, well, this is the last Targaryen. But still, I don't think that justifies Stannis going, yeah, let me give up my claim that seems to be the true claim based on legal law in Westeros at the moment. It just doesn't add up to me. So kind of a shorter video today. I hope you guys all enjoyed. I thought it was a really fascinating topic because I've seen this kind of topic brought up a couple times. I wanted to get my thoughts out here because it's something that we just don't talk about a lot, because I personally just don't think we're ever going to see Stannis and Daenerys. I know there is this quote that Ashley brings up, and I actually think that that doesn't really refer to Stannis living. I think that her House of the Undying vision could refer to Stannis actually being possibly an other, right? Him being arisen and being kind of this Night King type figure, maybe not having the powers of like the Night King of the show, but like being like a figurehead of the others, right? Stannis becomes, this person that is a king for the undead type situation. That's what I think that could mean. I think that quote that we talk about a lot in the Song of Ice and Fire is used more for the Night King theory more than it is for Daenerys and Stannis meeting, because Stannis to me is a character that I feel like his plotline has a fitting end for the end of Winds of Winter. I think keeping him around longer just adds more complications. It seems very clear that Daenerys and young Griff will be the focal point of maybe the rivalry of that family. And even when you throw in a wrench like Cersei and Euron possibly getting together, or even if they don't, just Euron being there, it just feels like we're a little overcrowded with kings and things like that. So I don't think Stannis and Daenerys will ever meet, but I do find it to be a fascinating idea, and I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think about Stannis and Daenerys if they were to ever meet? Bye, guys.